Originally in Spanish, May 2023.
Question from a follower. Do you know anything about Popocatépetl Volcano? And if you know if the sun has something to do with it, and if it's cyclical regarding volcanoes?
Volcanoes have always been related to solar activity. About Popocatépetl, I don't have much information as far as volume, but I do have something that is interesting to know or to be known. Although officially they are not evacuating the population of the whole area yet, as of 2 weeks ago, they evacuated certain towns near the volcano, but that were not at risk, according to what they say. The bad or interesting thing is that many non-Mexican American military arrived and settled in or among those evacuated villages, clearly evacuated for them. Shortly thereafter, the volcano activity began to increase. According to our instrumentation, the magma that is building up pressure is shallow, but the eruptions are strong. The fact that it is shallow indicates that it could be artificially triggered. The presence of spots of strong surface electromagnetism in the area and the detonation of high explosive chemicals near the crater or in the crater suggests that this eruption is either artificially triggered or is at least artificially enhanced or augmented.
What does the government of Mexico say about having military forces in their country near the volcano?
It says nothing. What I just told you is not known. The public does not know.
But the government of Mexico does, doesn't it?
Of course they do. Their Mexican army evacuated the population to leave those places or villages to the NATO American military.
And what function do volcanoes have for the planet?
They are part of the very movements of plate displacement of a planet. They are not completely solid. They are like valves to let pressure escape from a place.
So they are something normal. In Taygeta, are there volcanoes on the planets?
Not active. Temer is very stable geologically.
Could the lava reach Mexico?
Lava is less important. The pyroclastic cloud, seismic and ash activity is the problem, if it can reach Mexico City.
And someone asked me, prior to this Popocatépetl activity, there were microseisms with epicenters in several city halls, formerly delegations, in Mexico City. There were no epicenters within the city. They were coming from Guerrero, Oaxaca, or Jalisco. The authorities say there is no relation. Please ask.
No relation? Nearby earthquakes and volcanoes have always been related, since the magmatic pocket is huge. Movements in one cause a pressure rise in the magma that eventually causes a volcano to erupt. Yes, they have a direct relationship. Another thing to point out. Reptilians have been seen around the volcano in the last few days. The population itself knows it and says that they recommend to keep quiet. That they are lizard men. They have been seen posing as military. They are many times, around the villages and the local roads. The eruption does not seem so natural.
Are those lizard men from that area, or did they come from somewhere else?
I don't have that information, but since they have been seen as military, it is most likely that they came from somewhere else.
And what is in that area? Are there any natural portals there? What is it that makes them so interested?
Nothing. It is a poor people's land. The only thing there are the volcanoes themselves, because there are at least 2 of them. And portals, always, many portals. What can interest them? To use the volcano as political pressure for Mexico, that if the government does not obey, they will erase the Mexico City. It's not that the government is rebelling. It's more like struggles between factions of the deep cabal, conflicts between those who control the government of Mexico and others. The official governments don't matter. They are theater.
Holy smokes. And that they can do, although Mexico is a bit far from Popocatépetl.
Yes, of course. And it would be a natural disaster. But they would have their rituals and sacrifices. Like the 3 earthquakes in Mexico City on the same day, on September 19th. That is not a coincidence.
But you don't know more about those reptiles? The Federation doesn't say anything?
They don't say anything. We don't know more. From the conversation with Aneeka, 2020-2021.
A follower's question. Why is there lava? It never cools down.
Yes, it cools down, but it retains a lot of heat for a long time due to its mass volume and because it is constantly heated by the inner flow. That is, a river of lava flows out. The surface cools down, but not inside. Then a kind of crust is created, through which hot lava flows inside. But eventually it cools down and becomes volcanic rock. But of course it cools down, and its cooling rate depends on measurable factors within the lava itself and the environment.
And why is that lava produced? What causes lava to be created? The friction of the tectonic plates?
Yes, among other things, the Earth's crust is under a lot of pressure and friction, and it is also part of a gradual cooling process of the Earth itself that takes eons because of its mass. Remembering that the Earth is a living being,